Ever feel like the financial world, it could really use like a good shakeup?
Yeah.
We're diving into a company today that's trying to do just that,
Okay.
particularly in parts of the world where traditional banking, well, it's practically unheard of.
Interesting.
Get this.
Huh.
We're talking about turning prepaid phone minutes, those little things we all take for granted,
Right.
into globally usable currency.
Wow, that's pretty wild when you think about it.
It is wild.
It really is. It's like this fascinating mashup of emerging markets
Mm.
and, financial technology.
Mm.
And, of course, the mobile phones that we basically live on these days.
And this is where it gets really interesting. So imagine, okay, picture this. You're in a remote village somewhere you've probably never even heard of.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
What are two things you're almost guaranteed to find there?
A Coke bottle. And probably a prepaid SIM card.
You got it. And Allied Venture Partners, they're investing in this company we're talking about today.
Hmm.
And they actually pointed this out in their memo. They were saying that SIM cards are more common than bank accounts are in a lot of places.
Wow.
They called it, and I quote, the most accessible financial distribution platform in the world.
That's a pretty bold statement.
It is a bold statement.
Yeah, it is.
But it makes you think.
It really underscores the challenges that traditional banking faces in developing nations.
Totally.
I mean, you've got lack of infrastructure for one.
Right.
Building trust is a huge hurdle.
Yeah.
Even just something as simple as reliable electricity can be a major obstacle.
That's where Fonbnk comes in.
Yeah.
So their big idea is this. Converting prepaid mobile credits, those minutes you have on your phone,
Okay.
into cryptocurrency.
Whoa, okay, so we're talking about like actually turning airtime into digital currency.
It's like building a bridge.
Interesting.
On one side, you've got this massive untapped market of mobile phone users around the world.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side, you have the world of digital currency that's just constantly expanding.
Yeah.
And Fonbnk is that connection.
That's a really interesting way to think about it.
And we're not just talking Bitcoin here. Think
No.
Ethereum, USDC. The really big players in the financial tech world.
Okay, so this is serious stuff.
It is. Let's unpack this a little bit, though.
Yeah.
How would someone actually use this system?
So basically, Fonbnk allows users to transfer their prepaid mobile credits
Okay.
into a mobile wallet that's free to set up.
Gotcha.
And from there, they can convert those credits into various cryptocurrencies.
Interesting. Including something called stablecoins.
Exactly.
Now, for those who might not be familiar with that term, what exactly is a stablecoin?
So unlike something like Bitcoin, which we all know can be incredibly volatile,
Oh, yeah.
a stablecoin like USDC is designed to maintain a stable value.
Okay.
It's typically pegged to a real-world currency like the US dollar.
So it's like a digital version of a dollar.
In a way, yes.
Yeah.
And that stability is really crucial for everyday transactions because you don't want your money to suddenly be worth half as much tomorrow.
That makes sense. Okay, so you convert your phone credit to this stablecoin.
Right.
Then what? What can you actually do with it?
A lot, potentially. You could use those funds to make purchases online.
Oh, really?
You could send money to someone else almost instantly. Or you could even load it onto a prepaid Visa debit card, which you can then use for more traditional transactions in a lot of places.
So it opens up a whole world of possibilities for people.
It really does.
And that's something that Allied Venture Partners seems really optimistic about. They argue that rather than trying to reinvent the wheel in countries that don't have that financial infrastructure,
Right.
Fonbnk leverages what's already there, those mobile phones that are everywhere.
It's a classic example of really understanding your target market.
Yeah.
I mean, why try to build a whole new complex system
Exactly.
when you can just work within the framework that people are already using every single day?
It's brilliant when you think about it.
It is pretty clever.
It is. And it seems to be working.
So how does this impact the average person in these communities? I mean, what are the real world implications here?
It's such a, like you said, it's a classic example of understanding the market that you're trying to reach instead of trying to get them to come to you.
Totally. And, the potential impact is huge.
Oh, absolutely.
Think about it. Imagine being able to send money to your family overseas instantly,
Right.
even if you don't have a bank account.
Or if you've never even had access to things like that before.
Exactly. This could be a game changer for financial inclusion.
Totally. Especially in those areas that have been underserved by like traditional banking systems.
Yeah, absolutely. It could really empower people.
Mm-hmm.
But, of course, we have to acknowledge, like, with any new technology,
For sure.
especially in the financial world, there are going to be challenges.
Oh, definitely. Like, what kind of things are we talking
Well,
about?
security is a big one. Making sure that people's money and their data are safe.
Of course. That's got to be top priority.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's something that Fonbnk and really any company in this space
Mm-hmm.
has to really prioritize and be transparent about.
Be upfront with people.
Yeah, exactly. And then there are the practicalities for users.
Like what?
Well, what about fees?
Right. Are there fees involved in, like, converting the airtime or actually making transactions?
That's a key question.
Mhm.
Transparency around fees is going to be super important for getting people to use this.
Totally. You've got to know what you're getting into.
Exactly. And
Mhm.
Fonbnk's model does involve fees.
Okay.
They vary depending on the type of transaction, the amount you're sending, things like that.
So it's not like a one-size-fits-all kind of deal.
Right. It's definitely something that potential users should look into.
Do their homework,
Yeah. Weigh the benefits against the costs.
because there are always trade-offs, right?
Always. But it's interesting because Allied Venture Partners also really emphasizes Fonbnk's credibility.
Oh, how so?
Well, they point to their partnerships with companies like Visa and Circle.
Those are pretty big names.
They are big names. And those partnerships are really significant
Why is that?
because it shows that this isn't just some small startup operating in a vacuum.
Right.
These major players are paying attention.
It's like they're giving Fonbnk their stamp of approval.
It's a vote of confidence from the financial establishment.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of credibility, what about the team behind Fonbnk?
Well, that's another thing that stands out.
Okay.
Christian Duffus, the founder,
Mm-hmm.
he's got a serious track record in the fintech world.
Oh, yeah, he's not new to this.
Not at all. He's founded 3 other companies in this space.
And I think I read somewhere that one of those companies was acquired by SoFi.
That's right, back in 2019.
Wow, that's impressive.
It is. It shows he knows how to build something successful.
Something that people want.
Yeah, and something that can scale.
And then there's the whole technology side of things.
Right. We can't forget about the tech.
The tech co-founders, they've each got like a decade of experience at places like Deutsche Bank and DXC.
Exactly. These aren't some kids messing around in their basement.
They're the real deal.
They bring a ton of knowledge from both traditional finance and the tech world.
That's a powerful combination.
It really is.
So it seems like Fonbnk has really put together a team that has the experience, the vision to navigate this whole complex landscape.
They seem to have all the pieces in place.
But as with any ambitious venture,
Sure.
the question remains,
Right.
will it actually work?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It really is. What do you think? I mean, do you think this is going to be a success story?
It's a bold move, no doubt about it.
It is?
Only time will tell how it plays out in the long run.
That's true.
But I'll say this.
It really makes you wonder what could happen.
One thing's for sure, though.
Yeah.
Fonbnk is definitely a company to watch.
I think so too. They're doing something really different.
And their journey, I think it could have a big impact on the future of finance.
Oh, absolutely. Especially in those emerging markets where traditional banking just hasn't quite reached yet.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting is that this isn't just limited to those areas.
What do you mean?
Well, the technology they're building,
Yeah.
it could be applied in a lot of different contexts.
Oh, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
So even in places with established banking systems,
Right.
this could be disruptive.
Exactly. Think about it.
Right?
Could this kind of model shake up how we do international money transfers,
Even in developed countries?
even in developed countries?
Interesting.
Could it be a good alternative for people who don't trust banks?
Or maybe just don't have easy access to them.
Exactly. There's so many possibilities here.
It really opens up a lot of doors. Makes you
Sure.
think, innovation, like, it doesn't always come from those big institutions.
It's true. Sometimes the most groundbreaking ideas,
Yeah,
they come from people who are tackling real-world problems.
exactly. Problems that those big institutions might not even be aware of.
And they come up with these really creative solutions.
Like Fonbnk. They saw that in a lot of places, people have SIM cards,
Right.
but they don't have bank accounts.
And they thought, why not connect those two things?
It's simple, but it's brilliant.
And potentially revolutionary.
Absolutely. That could change everything.
That's why I love these deep dives.
Me too.
They make you think outside the box.
They really do. They challenge those assumptions we have about the world.
Yeah, like why do we do things this way?
Exactly. And it makes you realize that what might seem like a small change in one place
Right.
can have these massive ripple effects everywhere,
Fonbnk is just one example.
but a powerful one.
It definitely makes you think about the future.
It does. What's next for mobile money? What's next for finance in general?
And what does it all mean for us?
Exactly. That's something for all of us to consider as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of Fonbnk and the future of mobile money. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.